Have you ever wondered why so many coaches get millions of views on their Instagram pages, but when you check the DMs and you check how many real clients they have, it's almost about zero, right? But we have to understand that it's not about the followers that you build, it's about the authority that you can get. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Rehan and I help online business and fitness coaches systemize their funnels so that they can convert more leads with less followers. So if you want to go from just building an audience to actually getting ideal clients into your system, you're on the right video. And in this video, I'm going to break down the systems that coaches use to become the go-to authority in their niche. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Okay, so this video is going to be broken into three parts. It's going to be what, why, and how. The what is going to focus on exactly what authority building using content actually means, and the how is going to be the frameworks and the systems I'll provide you, and the why is going to be the reason it actually matters. So if you already know the what and the why, you can just skip to the how. I've already made a timestamp for you guys, but without further ado, let's continue. So what exactly is building authority through content? You see, most coaches think being everywhere means that you trust it, but authority via content is when your audience sees you as the best and only solution to their problem, because you've proven it in your content over and over again. I've seen coaches with 100,000 followers that are struggling to book a call. And this isn't just some legend. I've actually worked with a coach who couldn't book calls, even though he had more than 96,000 followers. Then I've seen other coaches with around 2,000 followers, and all of those guys were from his ICPs. And he was filling his calendar weekly, like 15 calls booked every single week. And the difference was the first person, he was chasing attention, while the second coach I worked with, he was building authority. And here's the core of authority content. You have to identify a real pressing problem your ideal client faces. And this can be done by looking at the market research you already have. And if you don't have that, I'll make a separate video explaining how you can do market research. Then next comes down to identifying the problem, showing it to them so that they understand that you understand what they're going through. And then you demonstrate that you've solved it before, or break it down so clearly they trust you're the answer even before they meet you. If you do this, even without a single testimonial, you'll earn attention, trust, and action. And that is so true, even if you don't have a testimonial or you don't have a client at the moment. As long as you can identify a problem in the market, shift their beliefs to give them more clarity, and then give them the solution for the problem, you will already be seen as the authority. So I've gone ahead and made a visual graph for you guys just so you can see what it looks like. So what authority through content actually means, we've gone over this. You can have a big audience with no authority, or have a small audience with high authority. And the two ways you can tell that is if you have confused DMs and few sales, that directly links to the fact that you don't have authority in your niche, because no one knows what you do or who you are and why they should trust you. And that's why your competitors will steal all of your clients or prospects. And a small audience with high authority means you're only focused on DMs from people that are from your specific client profile. And you have book calls on a weekly basis that's maybe 20 minutes long. They have absolutely no friction. So, like again, what are the main ways you can actually build authority? And that is by identifying a problem, showing them that you understand it, and then shifting their beliefs. Basically saying, your problem is X, and you're doing Y to get it. But this is why it doesn't work. And instead you do Z, and you'll get the results because of this. Now you've taken them from a road of confusion to a road of clarity, which just makes it so much easier for them to see what's ahead, and they can just trust you based off that reason. Now we can move on to the why. So why is authority so important? I've given you a little glimpse of why it is, but let's go more into detail. So why do most coaches chase views and followers? Well, that's because it works, at least for engagement. You see, when a coach doesn't have anything going for him, or he doesn't see progress in his business, looks quite stagnant, when he sees 100,000 views, 200,000 views, it immediately gives him a sense of hope, because now there's more people on his page. But if you don't know actually how to build authority from those 200,000 views and will convert them into leads consistently with a predictable plan, then it's almost as if you did nothing. So I've seen it. One of my clients, Caleb, right? He had 100,000 followers, like I've said, but no one is actually aware of what he offered. Because when I checked his DMs when we started working together, there was absolutely nobody who understood what he was doing. And he was getting the same generic questions over and over again, meaning his set of followers were all unsophisticated. Every sales call felt like an uphill battle. Everything was just unserious. Like all of his prospects, they were just skeptical, unserious, and sometimes even lost them to someone with way less reach just because he had more proof slash clarity. You guys will lose your clients or your prospects if you don't have clarity and if you don't have authority. The real cost of missing authority is you become just another option, not only the full solution. You see, the thing is, you don't want to be just another service provider in the market. You want to be the solution to a problem that your ideal client faces. And the only way that you can be viewed as such is by building content that will give you authority. Competitors who build trust will win your leads. You're going to spend energy convincing instead of being chosen, and your DMs will fill up with what do you do instead of how can I work with you, right? Your content shouldn't make you popular. It should stack evidence for why your ICP should pick you. The thing is, if you start focusing on building authority, attention and trust will just normally and naturally just follow you. And you have to remember, trust and attention are the two most oversaturated, valuable things on the internet. But authority cuts through both of them. Now we're going to move over to the how, which I will just give you all the secret sauce on how to actually get authority through your content. And I've given you frameworks you can get from my Google Docs to help you out on the way. This next part, I've only talked about psychology because once you watch this video and you understand everything, you can take action right now. There's 5 other points that I would like to talk about, but I don't want to make this video too long. There's a 3-part authority building system that everyone is using. Firstly, everybody has a content pipeline. This 3-part authority building system requires you to have a content pipeline, buyer's journey roadmap, I believe, and also for your brand to be consistent. Also, before I start, I just want to mention the reason I'm reading everything out of these Google Docs or this Miro board is so that I can give you guys as much as clarity as possible because I'm actually here to give you guys value and not just sound flashy. Without further ado, let us begin again. Firstly, we have the content pipeline. And here's how your pipeline should look. You have the top of funnel, and that's basically you giving out your personal stories through storytelling to show your journey and humanize yourself. Example is here's what I wish I knew when I started coaching. The middle of funnel, it consists of 2 videos. So that's going to be identifying the biggest pain your ICP feels and then shifting their beliefs. So the first video, you identify a problem that they know they have or they might not even know that they have, and you just make it as clear as possible towards them. The second video in your your middle of funnel, that's basically going to go over shifting their beliefs. So you say, this is your faulty belief you have right now. And if you don't know what a faulty belief is essentially the belief that's holding your ideal client back from the result that they want. And you tell them, this is the faulty belief you have now, but this is completely wrong. Instead, you should think like this because X, Y, and Z, and then you'll get this result. And that just gives them a lot of clarity. And then from the clarity, you build trust with them. And then trust automatically just means attention slash authority. And then the bottom of funnel, you're just going to give a clear solution. You're going to explain your offer and then direct them to take action. In your bottom of funnel, always make sure that you have them taking action. And the reason you do that is as an authority, you always have to direct them, but you do not want to sound desperate at the same time. So the best way you can do them is suggesting them options. For example, many agency owners, and especially somebody like Jason Cooperson, Agent Dana, Nick Settings, they all have intros and outros which suggest them. This is for the long form videos, which suggest their clients or their prospects to take an action, which could be from if you need help with this specific problem, go watch this video or DM me this word, or you can just book a call directly with me. Every single person has an intro and outro for that reason. And that's how you build authority without sounding desperate and leading them towards something. And if you're still posting only valuable content, but then never mapping content to each stage, your best leads never move down the funnel, right? You can't have videos which are like 3 tips to lose weight or 5 tips to build confidence because there's already so much value in the content space that it just sound abundance. So instead of just giving value, make it contextual. So instead of saying, here's 3 tips to lose weight, just say, if you're a busy guy over the age of 40 with kids and you want to if you want to get a 6-pack, here's the 3 things that I would include in my daily life. Now that's contextual value, where you're targeting a specific person to solve a specific problem, so you can charge higher, you attract the right people, and you can build authority because you're talking to someone directly that you've helped before. Here's what a content pipeline looks like visually. In order to build authority, you need to have a content pipeline. The content pipeline is going to consist of 3 places. Top of funnel videos, which can be your stories. For example, you using storytelling content or personal branding content to really get them to know you by humanizing yourself. And then your middle of funnel content, also for top of funnel content, you can also use trial reels, and you can test and bring in new followers that just know you as a human. And if they know you as a human and they know who you actually are, the trust is already going to be there. Next is going to be middle of funnel. That's when you're going to identify a problem that they related to and then make it clear for them and then shift that specific problem. So that's going to be split into 2 videos. This is the same funnel that I use for one of my other pages that I'm testing and many coaches use. Also, this is just a framework. If you don't need top of funnel content because you're already massive in the market, then you can skip that and just focus on letting everybody believe that you know what you're doing. And then the bottom of funnel content, this will have the solution slash the CTA. You give a clear solution and explain your offer and direct them to take action. That's just an example that I just explained to you guys. Next, we're going to go take a look at the buyer's journey roadmap. This is the real psychology behind why people buy. Every client starts as somebody unaware who has a completely different way of thinking, and then you move them towards a ready to buy, where now they know they have a problem and they know that they need a solution. Your content needs to meet them at each of the phases. They think very differently from phase 1 to phase 5, and your content should hit them exactly where they are at, or else it's just going to sound confusing towards them at least. So for phase 1, they start getting awareness. They want to make 10K a month, or they want to start losing that belly fat. But they probably have imposter syndrome, or they doubt themselves, or they just don't know what to do. So they start consuming a lot of content. Your move over here should be clarity content. You don't need 10K followers to start. You give them free guides. You just shift their beliefs in the most basic way. Like, hey, when I started, I was in XYZ situation and now I'm here. So you don't need all of that fancy stuff. That's just an example for you guys. Then phase 2, consideration. Then the next behavior is going to be consuming business mentor content, downloading freebies, and watching you daily. So now they're interested in trying to make 10K a month online or losing weight in a specific way. So let's say with a calorie deficit, because now that's a method they want to use. That's when they start consuming the educational content, and then they start downloading the free stuff that you can give them, and they'll start watching your content daily. The friction over here is that they don't know what to post, they're scared to sell, they lack a roadmap, and that's just a couple of examples. For somebody who wants to lose weight, it's like they don't know what to eat exactly. They're scared to go to the gym because people might judge them, and they lack a roadmap. Your move over here is create reels on like how to get your first client or how to lose your first pound. Give them a lead magnet, like, hey, if you want what I just told you in a doc, here you go, and you give them a lead magnet. Create story funnels and start creating audits. Now, the reason we want to do that with the story funnel specifically is because when someone start watching your content in consideration, they're most likely going to be watching your stories because they're interested in the services you provide. And that's why you should start hard selling in your stories at least once or twice a week using consideration roadmap. Right? Don't just say, I have 5 spots left. No, you don't. You probably have more. Rather, just give them, either send them to your ecosystem on your long form content or tell them to book a call directly. Next up, we have phase 3, decision. So now they want to make a choice, like who are they going to work with? What are they going to do? Their behaviors are going to be comparing coaches. They're going to ask for proof. They're going to lurk in the testimonials. I did that personally. And the friction is going to be, they have skepticism because they've been scammed, just like I have. Fear of being scammed, past failures, right? Your move is to like demonstrate your case studies. If you want results like these, DM me next. Give them soft CDAs. Right? That is the best thing you could do when you know your followers want to go ahead and start buying from you. Then phase 4 is conversion. The behaviors are going to be, they probably commented, now they're in your DMs and they're just watching offer explainers and they're looking for payment plans. Right? They're like, which coach does this? Which coach does that? They're texting you directly. And the friction is going to be money fears urgency, and is it like worth it, the value space. Your move over here is create scarcity offers, but genuine. Don't just say you have 3 spots left. Make it genuine. And then create testimonials. Have fast win bonuses or downsells. Somebody says, I don't want to invest 1-on-1, but I just need help. Make them like send them to a group which has all of your videos to show you how to do them without your 1-on-1 needed, and just make it for a cheaper price. Or not, don't use the word cheaper like what I just did. Rather just say less or lower. So if you're missing just one phase, your best prospects, they can get lost, confused, or stuck. Now, one other thing I want to mention about authority content is from the content pipeline and the buyer's journey roadmap, which you can both get in my Google Docs. People still might say, I don't know what to post really. And that comes down to creating novel ideas. Now, novel ideas, I haven't explained it in this video. Reason being is because it is so hard to cover that in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And it is the best way to make content in terms of building authority. But I'm going to have to make a video on that next week. But what I want to mention is if you guys don't know how to create content that will build your authority and not just be garbage in and garbage out, look at your competitors. I'll give you an example. Jason Cooperson, I believe that's his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. He is the GOAT of content marketing, one of the best there is. And one video he posted that stood out to me was 72 hours after onboarding, where he explained what is it like to pay me 3 days. Well, what is it like to work with me for 3 days straight? And he explained how on day one, there was the onboarding call. And then day two, he built out the entire content plan. And day three, they took all of his sales calls and they put it into an AI, and the AI gave him enough research to create content for 30 days straight. So in just 3 days, he had like 30 days worth of content. Well, his client. And he explained that. And then at the end, he gave a curiosity gap by saying, and that's only 3 of the 90 days they work with me. So that just builds authority because you show that you have so much value in the first 3 days. And his content explained why reviewing your sales calls is so important, why having an AI do your work for you to systemize your content is so important. And then when he mentioned those facts, we already know that those are high value because he shifted our beliefs beforehand. Then we released that video, we were all like, damn, he provides so much value because you shifted your beliefs according to his service. But besides that point that I gave you guys, you can all make one of those videos. It's going to be wonders, pin it on your page too. Let's move on to, I believe, the most important psychological aspect in terms of authority that you can take it right now. It is going to be brand consistency. Authority can't be fake. It's built over time by showing up the same way with the same energy, message, and promise. It has to be authentic in order for it to be, or in order for it to convey authority. You have to align your visuals, tones, and content to one core theme. For example, my content is always blue, white, and black for its specific meanings. And that signals to you who I am and what clients get from me. As you can see in my content, I don't use fancy words. Everything is no fluff because white stands for clarity, right? I make everything as clear as possible. Black for sophistication. I talk about stuff that you won't find in base level or beginner level content. This is all sophisticated. And then I have blue to trust you because I'm not going to edit this as much. I did say a couple of bloopers, which will be gone, but the rest of this is going to be clean, face to face while I'm looking at a camera made out of metal box. Face to face value. That's what I want to say. So if you check your DMs and people say, I'm not sure what you do, your branding and message is not clear enough. Every piece of your brand, colors, language, themes should reinforce what you solve and who you solve it for. So I want to go over what themes is. People look at someone like Moritz Neo. They're like, damn, this guy is living life like a movie. That is a theme of his content. And if you can't make a theme like that because you don't own a yacht in the middle of the ocean, there's always other themes that you can take that will still be, well, authentic towards you. For example, let me give you one. Nick Setting, he uses the colors yellow and blue because, well, running a business should be fun. It should give you freedom. And if you look at his content, he's always somewhere like in Greece or in Puerto Rico, and he's enjoying life while he's building his business with all of his clients in Dubai. That's why I use the color blue and yellow. And another person could use a theme like building a business in my pajamas because it's that easy. Then the fonts he uses are like messy. The colors is probably going to be pink and blue. The reason you want to choose a specific color is because it aligns with who you are and it aligns with the content you make. If you're going to use the colors blue, black, and white, and your content is all memes, it's just not going to stick. Your colors must align with your brand, and your brand must align with your content. So you can make any theme that's authentic towards you, and it's already going to make you the authority. Agent Dano actually makes the same, or has the same colors as me. Our fonts are a little different, and that's for specific reasons. But I want to show you this visual before we end off. So you can see here there's key phrases. There's always showing up the same way, aligning your visual tones and content, and then having authenticity. Because if you show up every single day talking about one clear message and you actually get results from it, then that's already going to make you look like the authority, because consistency is just one of the key aspects in authority, right? If you're unclear, well, if your content is unclear, your clients or your prospects will say, I'm not sure what you exactly do. If your branding and messages aren't clear enough, you're going to have to go ahead and reinforce those brand elements. I'm going to hit H again and take you guys to the color aspects. So my colors are specifically chosen as blue, white, and black for those three elements that you can see on the screen. And they're supposed to signal exactly who you are. If you use the color green, that's for growth or that's for money. You should have content that focuses on growth or money, because everything's going to align. If you use the color green for something that's negative, it's going to skew your viewers' brains, what they're going to scroll through. And that's because the more friction there is in your content, the less people are going to watch it. Now, that is as much as value as I can give in 30-40 minutes without extending this for way too long. So if you did get a lots of value from this specific thing, make sure that you like and you follow me, and that'll allow me to create so much more content for you guys, which I really do appreciate you watching till the end of this video. And since you have gone ahead and watched this entire video, if you need any help with your content building, and if you need the frameworks that I just explained to you, they're all in my Google Docs for you to get, and they're specifically tailored for online coaches, no matter if you're a business or a fitness coach. So just to say this again, thank you guys for watching this entire video. I really do appreciate it. Have any things that you guys want me to create content about, or if you have any questions, make sure to go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll reply to every single buddy.